Hi, my name is Jonathan Esparza. I'm an immigration attorney. I have my practice Esparza Law Office in San Diego, California. And we've been open for about 3 years, and I've been practicing immigration law for about 5. Some of the challenges that I faced that were addressed by remote legal staff were the fact that I have a small office and I have in-house assistant, but I needed an additional assistant to help me with the day-to-day work that I would just spend 10 hours, 11, 12 hours a day just trying to get completed. And so that issue was addressed by remote legal staff with the contractor that they were able to find for me that was able to take on some of the burden that I had in completing the work for my clients. Before working with remote legal staff, I considered working with a number of other agencies, particularly other agencies that were overseas. But none of those companies had contractors that had legal experience, and in which case remote legal staffing just stood out among the other agencies I spoke to because each of their contractors had not only a degree in law, but they also had legal experience, which benefited me greatly. Remote legal staff have been able to help me with writing my motions and in preparing translations and other documents for the court that would have taken me precious minutes and hours for me to prepare on my own. The remote staff from Remote Legal Staff, they've integrated with my team very well, mostly through electronic communications, so emails, and it's been very efficient and effective and very timely in responses and back and forth when we're discussing client tasks. The most valuable aspects of using staff from a remote legal staff is just the promptness and communication, keeping me up to date on what tasks have been assigned, which tasks have been completed, and how they're progressing with certain tasks, especially relating to communicating with clients and leaving voicemails and with other messages that come up or questions that come up throughout the day with completing those tasks. Initially, I was concerned with the amount of time it would take to train a remote staff worker, just because I do have a number of employees and I know how long it would take. I was surprised at how quickly it took to get the remote worker up to date with just the tasks that need to be done, as well as just an efficiency in completing those tasks quickly over time. And in reality, it didn't take very much time at all. And from day one, we were able to get started with assigning more and more tasks to the remote worker and getting the work completed. The ongoing coaching and support from remote legal staff has been invaluable because I thought it would take a lot more work to manage a remote worker, and in reality it's been extremely easy, and I think that it's been fantastic fit for the office because it allows me to free up my time to do other tasks and not having to be the one who's following up on tasks. I have the remote staffer following up with me on the progress of those tasks, and that's been a great process. The addition of remote legal staff to our firm has affected our morale just by overall improving our ability to handle work and our moods in handling work involving deadlines. And so we have the remote staffer completing tasks even when the other staff aren't in office. And that's been fantastic for the whole office because that means that we know that all manner of work is getting done, and even though those people aren't physically in the office and we can't physically see them making progress on those tasks. Managing remote staff has been easier than expected because I've dealt with remote staff from other agencies in the past, and I currently have more in-office staff. And the arrangement right now, working with a remote legal staff worker, has made just the possibility of growing and having more remote workers available to assist me with my work while still maintaining a low overhead with a smaller office. It makes that possible. And I attribute that to having a successful remote worker. The communication and support from legal staff has been very prompt, very professional, and it's easy to work with Ben and the other staff. The most surprising benefit that we've seen at our office through working with remote legal staff has been just the amount of work I can delegate to the remote worker. And initially, I didn't think that I'd be able to delegate quite as much of my legal writing, especially since it's in English, and not every remote legal worker has or knows English as their primary language. But in this case, the work product has been great, and we've been able to just delegate a lot more so that, again, that frees up my time, that frees up my other staff's time to be able to do the things in office that a remote worker can't do, like printing documents and mailing items out. And that takes a tremendous amount of time. And the remote worker has allowed us to be able to focus on those other tasks. A particular instance when the remote legal staff worker was able to make a significant impact in one of our cases was just, again, looking at cases that many times come up as emergencies or cases involving short deadlines. And the availability of remote legal staffer to help me with managing those tasks that are normally delegated to an attorney has saved me so much more time than I thought, and it's allowed me to meet some of those deadlines. Whereas if it wasn't for the worker, then I'd probably have to stay up all night in getting that completed. I would rate the professional skills, the expertise, and the overall performance of a remote legal staff and their workers as a 10 out of 10. They've helped us out a bunch, and I see a growing relationship with remote legal staff in our office with any need that arises if we need to scale. But remote legal staff compares to having in-house staff. With the in-house staff, we communicate with them mostly through messaging and through emails anyways. And the in-house staff, while the difference is I get to see that staff in person and I get to talk with them about particular issues just when I'm walking by them. With the remote legal worker, their questions are going to be sent to me by email, and that actually improves efficiency as well. And sometimes the in-house staff, that efficiency isn't quite there. To the lawyer who's apprehensive about hiring remote staff from remote legal staff, I would just want to let them know that remote legal staff has the controls in place that you might fear that a remote worker doesn't have controls, doesn't have the processes, and would take overall too much of your precious time to be able to train and to have them on task and on board with the company and completing their goals. And that's not the case with remote legal staff. And they do already have those controls, which makes our life as attorneys easier and allows us to get our work done and to have competent, reliable staff help us get the work done as well. I'd recommend remote legal staff because when you're looking at hiring a remote worker, remote legal staff makes it easy by offering month-to-month contracts. And in addition, the workers that you're reviewing as potential remote workers, they all have legal experience and they've all gone to law school. And so they know just the degree of rigor that some of the work that you're going to be expecting your workers to complete, they may have already experienced that before, which is a huge addition and a big difference than other remote workers who may be remote but have no experience or have very little experience with completing the type of attorney work that you would want to delegate to a remote worker. So lastly, it's been a great fit for our office to work with remote legal staff. And I think that I will be a great fit for your office too.